Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And kind of keeping along the lines that we did with last week's episode, this is a pretty special episode as well. So I am actually coming at you solo for the first time ever. So this is James, sans John. He's still off, doing his thing. Much love, John. But I couldn't sit by and not give you an episode. Where would you be without a week from us? Well, at least I hope that's kind of what you think. So honestly, I wanted to touch base on some fun topics for what I've been doing and cooking up for the podcast and my personal gaming life. So this episode is going to kind of come at you a little bit different because essentially with it just being me, it's kind of like a news show almost. So this is the news with James from Games with John and James. And what better way to kind of kick this episode off than talk about some of the best news that we've gotten. And I'm just gonna, take a moment to just kind of dive right in for the topic for John, shout out to him and all of that Sonic love. They decided to finally this week kind of allow newer generations without playing the PlayStation Classics or getting a Sega Genesis Mini, finally gave us Sonic Origins. And Sonic Origins is literally going to be the first 3 Sonic games in one. And it's kind of cool in the sense that new kids and the newer generation get to experience like old age Sonic. The downfall of this is their pricing is all over the place. It is more confused than a Raiders fan at a Chiefs game. And I say that because I'm a diehard Chiefs fan and, have to throw a little shade at the Raiders. So that was one of the biggest things that dropped this week. And for me personally, as you know, that's one of our big talking points on this podcast is all things Sonic, all things JRPG, etc., kind of, beating the dead horse, if you will. But I'm pretty hyped for this because we do have a new IP coming out with Sonic Frontiers later this year. And it feels like the hold me over in the sense that we're going to be able to purchase this, experience this, have a little bit of fun with this, and just kind of use this to hold us over till Sonic Frontiers. Now, is that game going to be good or bad? I couldn't tell you. I know John, he's hyped beyond all belief. His Sonic freak flag is still flying high for Frontiers being a good game because the last few have been disappointing with the exception of Sonic Mania. So we'll see. And aside from that, the other really, really, really big news, and I use really a lot because this is my hype, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We got some actual gameplay footage. As you all know, Nintendo decided to bump up the timeline for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and we're actually getting it this summer. And that's really wild to think of with the amount of development, the amount of activity, and everything that kind of goes into this game. So for them to actually give us some gameplay footage, I'm all for it. It looks crisp. It looks unbelievably polished, and I'm just so excited for this. Like, I had a blast. I had so much fun with Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I didn't get to play it originally. In fact, so I didn't experience Xenoblade Chronicles 1 until 2018. My brother and I, we were actually out in LA for Anime Expo, and we both decided, hey, we're going to go do this. We're going to have some fun. And one of the booths there actually had Xenoblade Chronicles for the 3DS. And I was like, oh, okay, like, I think I saw this for the Wii a while back. This was, back then I was still, diving into WoW, still kind of had my soul sold to the PC gods. So I never really bothered with it. Like, I know it was pretty good. My brother had played it. He had recommended it. So I was like, you know what? This convention's cool and everything, but I'm kind of here to shop a little retro. Go figure, retro at an anime convention, right? And that's where I was actually able to acquire it for the first time. And it was a little odd playing it on the 3DS, I'm not going to lie. It wasn't user-friendly for the most part, but overall it was a good experience, and I got to enjoy the story. And, like, Shulk story, 10 out of 10, awesome. Xenoblade Chronicles, awesome. And then I dove into Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Switch. I picked that up a few months after, and I sold my soul to that game. I couldn't get enough of it. For all of the anime tropiness, the fan service and everything, it delivered. And it delivered in a way that I truly appreciated, because put all of that aside, you have a fundamentally amazing story, so much so that they even gave us Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country. And with that, that was another deep dive into the prequel, essentially, to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It was so rewarding to play a game that was that immersive narratively, and I truly appreciated it. I'm not the biggest fan of fan service, and I know with me liking JRPGs, it's kind of like a conundrum. It's like, oh yes, I love the JRPGs, but fan service, they go hand in hand. It is what it is, unfortunately. So to see them kind of shift away and we get a more mature setting, a mature tone, and a mature feel to it, it's kind of similar to what we mentioned in the last episode with Brandon with the narrative games with Kingdom Hearts. It's shifting away into a little more of a serious look and tone in that franchise. So I'm super, super excited in order to get my hands on it, hopefully truly enjoy it, dive in, and just be immersed for another 100+ hour game. Yeah, as you can tell, like that's my passion. Like, I am so happy we're getting amazing JRPGs like this, and I love seeing continuation of series, because there's so many series out there that they deserve to come back. So you look at, we'll stay in the Xenoland, Xenogears, arguably the best JRPG of all time, with the exception of its fatal weakness being that damn Disc 2 not being complete due to lack of funds and the development team going elsewhere onto other projects. I would love to see number 2, a Xenogears 2, come out, and we get to continue that story of Faye. It would be so amazing, because they put so much effort and passion into it that we need it. Like, I want to appreciate it. I want to enjoy it more. I want other people to come into this universe. So as much as I love new games coming out, I'm also at a situation where I'm just like, fuck, give us the classics back. And honestly, kind of brings me into our next topic here on Hard Action News with James from Games with John and James. Square Enix is kind of rolling out the red carpet, more or less, with amazing remasters. If you haven't had a chance to yet play the Chrono Cross remaster, the Radical Dreamers edition, you get a remastered version of Chrono Cross with a lot of quality of life improvements, better frame rate, the graphics are smoother, the characters are a lot better, animations are more polished, but it also gives you the ability to kind of just like speed through the game. There was so much fluff with the combat system in Chrono Cross that you didn't get to experience the story. And I'm not the biggest Chrono Cross fan, as you all know, with my hype and love for Chrono Trigger, but for what it was, there was so much potential lost just kind of due to the times being on the PS1. So this remaster is awesome. It even gives you an auto battler, so you don't have to really kind of drudge through the combat or anything. So that's awesome. And for the first time outside of the fan translation, we get to experience the Radical Dreamers. Now, I'm going to preface this. If you have picked this up and you've never experienced the Radical Dreamers or Chrono Cross, I really hope you enjoy both. Radical Dreamers, play with a guide. You will thank me later. It is convoluted and confusing, but it does give you some extra story post Chrono Trigger. Helps tie in kind of some loose ends if you want to look at it as objectively as possible. So definitely play Radical Dreamers with a guide. Chrono Cross, pick your poison. If you played it back in the day, you know exactly what you're doing. If you didn't, and you kind of want to kind of streamline your process, enjoy the speed running, enjoy the auto battling, it will help a lot, because there was so much negative space in that game. And I use the term negative space because back then you had load times, you had drawn out animations in battle, and the PlayStation could only process so much. So games that could have been condensed were just unfortunately like there because, hey, product of the damn times. And they're also hitting us with that Dragon Quest III HD remaster in the vein of Octopath Traveler, same engine and everything. And I think, so this is kind of my speculation. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like we have kind of hit the pinnacle for nostalgia to the point that companies are taking notice and they're kind of feeding it to us. Front Mission 2, Front Mission 3, they're coming out. Eventually we'll get the Advance Wars 1 and 2 full remake. And then Chrono Cross. It is a great time for nostalgia. And if you're a new gamer and this isn't necessarily nostalgia, it's a new feeling for you. This is, I mean, you're feasting good, especially if you love RPGs just like I do. It's a great time to be alive. So I'm very much excited and I'm very much optimistic for the future of RPGs. We have new ones coming out that are awesome. They're kind of taking a different turn. Forspoken is going to be an amazingly beautiful and breathtaking RPG experience, but it's completely kind of deviates from what we have traditionally with JRPGs, your turn-based combat, anything like that. It's going to kind of play in the vein of like your God of Wars or your Horizons or your Elden Rings. Probably not as difficult as Elden Ring. I'm going to preface that right there. They don't want to hype that up and then just deliver a dumpster fire of difficulty. So for me personally, I'm really excited to see the potential future of this. Don't touch that dial. I will be right back, and I'm going to kind of let you have a glimpse into my life, so to speak. Like John and I, we do talk a lot about various games, likes, passions. We rib on each other hardcore, nonstop. Sonic Heroes will never die, apparently. And I want to kind of give you a little behind-the-scenes look of what's going on. So don't touch that dial. I'll be right back. Oh, hi. Welcome back. Man, that never gets old saying that. So, honestly, my job has me travel a lot, and I kind of wanted to give you like a behind the scenes look as of literally how I'm recording this episode. So, I'm actually in Las Vegas for the week at the National Association of Broadcasters convention, or the NAB convention, for work, and I needed to record an episode. So, I was like, guess I'm doing one on the road. And it's actually been kind of fun. It's definitely challenging to do this by myself just because of the rapport that I have with John, like bouncing off of him, riffing off of him. So I'm literally looking at my notes here. I'm like, all right, did I talk about this? Did I talk about this? And it's been kind of fun. And honestly, the best part of these work trips is I get to kind of like dive in hardcore into games, and I'm actually finally, and I know y'all can roast me all you want on this, finally diving into Octopath Traveler, and it's been super enjoyable and a big shit. Like I love Sony, I love PlayStation, can't speak nothing but love for it, but yeah, I mean, this Nintendo Switch has kept me entertained with all of these work trips. And if you haven't experienced Octopath Traveler yet, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Yes, I'm about 4 years late and talking about this thing brand new, but it's essentially a story divided into 8 parts, and you don't necessarily have to do everybody's story, but if you want to, they're all there for you. Multiple chapters, multiple explorations, etc., etc. And it feels refreshing because playing this game, it takes me back into like my younger years when I was gaming. It literally feels as if I'm opening an old chapter in gaming back on the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 era and diving right in. It's been so enjoyable, so much fun. And literally once I finish this on deck, I have a Project Triangle Strategy. So I'm a little late to fully immersing myself in that one too. Thanks, work travel. I hate it. But I'm super excited. Strategy RPGs, tactical RPGs are some of my favorite genres out there. And honestly, my favorite series ever, as I've mentioned in the past, is the Disgaea series. So I'm super amped for that. I know I probably have another 40, 50 hours of Octopath Traveler, and I'm okay with that. Like, this game is pretty damn awesome. So, yeah, this is kind of behind the scenes. It's pretty cool to kind of do this on the fly wherever I go. And I'm happy that I get to continue giving content for all of you and keeping the show going, because without you, without everybody listening, I wouldn't be here. John wouldn't be here. Games with John and James definitely wouldn't be here. So shout out to all of you for putting up with us for now 24 damn episodes. So yeah, this has been fun. It's honestly going to be a shorter episode because, again, this is just me without John. He'll be back soon. So we do have another guest host on the horizon. So I'm super excited for that. And I hope you will enjoy or have enjoyed these few episodes of manicness, so to speak. But as you know, you can always find us on Instagram and Facebook at Games with John and James. We're on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, Apple, everywhere that you like to enjoy your content. We're there. And honestly, I'm speaking into existence. So what I'm going to start doing every single episode is a hot fire 3-minute review. I have a stack of games ready to go that I'm going to put in. I'm going to play them for a couple hours and give you a 3-minute review on it and let you know, play it, leave it, sell it. So speaking that into existence, yay me! So with that, as always, I'm James with Games with John and James. And I'm John from the Ether! That's John from the Ether, essentially. So signing off, we will be back next week with another special guest. Bye!